Let's go now to your team now, who you seem to love now. Todd Monken now being hired as the Cleveland Browns head coach. He was an offensive coordinator for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He was an offensive coordinator at one time for the Cleveland Browns, for the Baltimore Ravens. So Todd Monken's been around. He's not that old of a guy. I think he's in his 60s, but he's been around. He knows a lot of football. First time head coach, but he's been around a lot of systems. So I can't say he might be good or bad, but I know you probably like him because today you were raving on all this nonsense talk. So now you're on camera to tell me what you think, why you like this Todd Monken, and he's going to be the savior for Shedeur Sanders and all this nonsense. To tell the people what you've been telling me all morning.
I'm gonna let you know, Gabe. I have always, always, I don't know why, I've always been a Cleveland Browns fan. That goes back to, you know, Ernest Bonner. It goes back to Mac. It goes back to Ossie Newsom.
Hmm.
It goes back to the Metcalf. See, I go back a long ways with Cleveland Browns. I don't know why I always liked them. Might have been because of the uniforms. I don't know why. I always been a Cleveland Browns fan. I always have been since the 80s, man. I have. I try to went back to Ernest Bonner and Kevin Mack.
Hmm.
But Kevin Mack fumbled the ball in the AFC Championship. I remember that. See, that's how far I go back with them Browns. I don't know why, but I'm gonna tell you one thing. I think Monken was the head coach for the Cleveland Browns because he has a great defense. So one thing Monken don't have to worry about is putting a defense together because we already got a defense in Cleveland. Now we have a rising star at the quarterback position, and Shedeur Sanders, who was born, raised, and groomed for this opportunity. The Cleveland Browns are signing some solid offensive linemen. So I'm looking at Monken as in the draft, get a couple of young, good receivers to go with Shedeur Sanders. And I think that Monken can lead the Cleveland Browns to the playoffs and possibly winning their division. The reason I say that, he has a good defense. He has a upcoming star quarterback. Let's see what he do in the draft with the wideouts. And if he get those pieces, because I look at Lamar Jackson getting hurt and Joe Burrow getting hurt. And like I told you earlier today, you know, last year when Lamar wasn't hurt with the Baltimore Ravens, they didn't have a good record. Same way with Joe Burrow. For years, they didn't started out slow, winning 2 out of 6 games. They done it for a couple of years. So if they get hurt, and if they get hurt and they start off slow, again, I would tell you on our podcast, if that happens, Shedeur Sanders and Myles Garrett of the Cleveland Browns will win the division in 2026 going into 2027.
Uh, I guess that's all. Look, I give it 15%. I give it 15% that they could win it because Ben Johnson and just did it in his first year with Caleb Williams. So it's doable. It is. It is. I've been on the record as saying often on the record that I think Shador can play in the NFL. I've said that. I think he can, and I think he'll be good. Will it be a top five quarterback like you say when his career is over? I'm not going to go that far yet because I haven't seen him play a full season. But I do think he can play.
Uh,
But I don't. I don't buy into this first year thing. I think it's going to take some time. Now the only go ahead.
It'll be a second year. It'll be a second year next year.
Okay. I think I don't think it'll happen next year. And I don't think it'll happen because the only thing I see that Cleveland that I don't have question marks are the defense. Everything else has a question mark on it, including Todd Monken, including Shedeur Sanders, because we haven't seen him play a full season. We don't know what this line, what this chemistry is going to look like. There's a lot of what ifs, right? I wouldn't bet the house on them. Plus, they're going to have to make this decision on Deshaun Watson, right? He's going to be available for them. That's what reports say. Will he play in 2026?
Todd Monken is not playing John Watson. He'll be a backup. He's not. Todd Monken is playing the guy he wanted to draft when he was in Baltimore. That's who he's
Okay, so now,
playing, the guy he
Shedeur,
recruited when he was at Georgia.
okay, so now Shedeur comes in. If Lamar Jackson plays the whole regular season, doesn't get injured once, and Joe Burrow don't get injured once, I don't think that he beats those guys for
I
the
think
division.
I think it will.
Why?
For
Why?
accurate,
But what do you betting the house on? Why do you think that Todd Monken and Shedeur can beat these guys?
Shedeur as a passer is more accurate than Lamar Jackson.
Okay,
Way more accurate.
okay.
To me, the only thing you known for, you went to the Super Bowl, but the only thing you known for, Joe Burrow, is smoking a cigar when y'all won a national championship.
But he won a national championship in college.
Okay, understand you won a national championship with Malik Neighbors, first round pick of the Giants, Justin Jefferson, first round pick of Minnesota, Jamal
Okay,
Chase, a first round pick for the Cincinnati Bengals.
okay,
Bro, you had all pros on your team at Cincinnati. So,
okay.
I mean, excuse me, at you,
LSU,
at
right?
you.
Okay.
So
So,
what did you do, bro? You had all pros
okay,
and all pros on your team. I'm not even going to talk about the secondary receivers that they had that's in the NFL right now. So really, what have you done, Joe Burrow?
you won a championship.
That good, Joe Burrow. Why did you transfer from Ohio State to LSU?
Okay,
If you
and
was
then okay, and then he's already okay,
all
and
this,
he's already taken a bad Cincinnati Bengals team to a Super Bowl
they were
already.
bad when they took him.
Okay, they lost to the Rams, but okay, but the thing is,
One
but the
bad.
okay, but the thing is, he went there. So what I'm saying to you is that he's already won. Now you can say that. I'm not going to argue that he had all pros, he had a good team, but he won the championship. But he's already been to the dance. He didn't win it, but he's already been there, and he got there in a short period of time when he was in the NFL.
Get Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals will not make it back to the big dance.
Okay, and now, but you're saying a team with a new head coach and a quarterback that still hasn't proven himself in the NFL, you're willing to say that they're already going to supersede a quarterback who has been to the Super Bowl.
I'm saying that. Listen to me.
And I say, what do you bet that on? It's wishful thinking. There's no proof that there's nothing that I've seen from him.
I'm looking at the talent. Joe Burrow
What talent? What talent? What talent do they have? What talent does Cleveland have?
is Shedeur. Joe
What?
Burrow, more talent. He's not more athletic than Shedeur.
Well, no, he's not. But
Shedeur. He
no,
is. He's not. He
well,
just
I know, but so are we saying here that because Shador's more athletic, he's going to win?
more talented than Joe Burrow.
Okay, but there's been more talented quarterbacks that never won. We've seen Peyton Manning, who's unathletic, win a Super Bowl, more than one. We've seen his brother, who's probably worse than Peyton, win, and he's not athletic. We've seen quarterbacks that are very unathletic win. So what does that have to do with winning a Super Bowl?
He's not Joe Burrow. God dog it. Joe Burrow had his time to win the Super Bowl when they beat Kansas City, but Shedeur Sanders putting this on. We putting this on wax. Putting this on wax. Shedeur Sanders will win a Super Bowl before Joe Burrow.
Okay, that might happen. I can see that because he's already got a defense, and they haven't helped Joe Burrow with the defense. So yes, I can see that. If we were to say in the next 5 years, that's a possibility because we've seen Joe Burrow since he's been in Cincinnati. He's had no line to block for him. Right, his line's been awful, and he has no defense, right? So to me, Cincinnati has not been willing to spend the money to help their quarterback win, right? So it doesn't appear that they're going to do that. So to me, yes, that's a possibility. I can definitely see that happen. I don't see that happening next year, but I
No,
can see that in the next 5 years, right?
I don't
I
think.
I,
I,
I can I could see that Shedeur Sanders might be in a better position to win a Super Bowl before Joe Burrow because the one thing that you need, he already has, which is a defense, right? Now, I think not this year coming up, but the next year when Deshaun Watson's money is off their books, they'll have that money to spend. Now, if Shedeur Sanders remains the quarterback, oh my God, then not this year, but the next year, they can really bring in talent and really buff up some stuff around him. Now he becomes dangerous at that point. But to say for me to buy in that he will win the division this year, I give it a 15%, but I don't think it'll happen. Now, after that, I can't tell you nothing now because I think he's talented and he can. But I think it's premature to think that he could win that, although there is a possibility that he'll do it next year. Now, after that, you keep putting talent around him. If Monken puts that talent around him and that GM, oh my God, then yes, you can't argue that point no more because that guy's a beast. If you give him receivers and a line that can block and a defense, yeah, I think Shedeur can win in 3 years, 4 years because he's that athletic.
no, we
But
before that. We be- Dog pound. I'm always been a dog pound fan, man. We before 4 years. You way out there now, Gabe. We ain't no 4 years, nothing.
well,
I'm
I mean, well, but he hasn't shown me anything. What's he?
I'm
Look, what you told me is
a
that he's
dog.
athletic. He's athletic, right? He's athletic. He didn't do nothing in college. He played in the Big 12. He couldn't win a bowl game, right? He had the MVP.
Really talk about college.
He had the Heisman Trophy winner, and he had talent.
One of the best quarterbacks that played the game, Aaron McNair. He didn't play for a big college.
Okay, so but what did he win?
He didn't win. He didn't win no champion. He
That's what I'm talking about.
in the Super Bowl.
Okay, so what makes
Oh,
see
Aaron
see
Bowl.
when I tell somebody Joe Burrow could win, I can back that up. That don't mean it's gonna happen. He's been to the dance. He's
He won a college championship with all pro players. How can you back that up? That's
but
all.
then he but because he's already been to the Super Bowl, even though he didn't win it in a short period of time. He got to the Super Bowl in less than 3 years when he entered the NFL. And
Without
even
right,
what was that?
without a defense.
Without a what?
Defense.
I mean, the defense was okay. I don't think it was great. It was
Okay,
okay.
but he ain't got back since.
Okay,
I
but you
mean, defense.
okay. But my argument is I'm saying this guy can get there because he's already been there. You're telling me that this guy Shador is going to get there. He ain't been nowhere near the Super Bowl.
Okay, but he gonna get a chance to get this. Only his
That's
first to his second year is gonna get better. I
well, yeah.
the Dog Pound fans. I'm a true Seahawk fan. But I've always loved those Cleveland Browns, like I told you, from Ernest Bonner, Kevin Mack, Bernie Kosar, Eric Metcalf, and all those guys.
I think it's more wishful thinking than facts. I mean, it could happen, but I think it's wishful thinking. I mean, because look, it's tough to win in the NFL. He's never really played a full season. We don't know what we're getting from Shador, right?
It's really not that strong. Think about it. They,
It's
they,
not what?
the AFC is really not that strong. They're not.
I
They're
think it is.
not.
You've already
Yes. Oh, that's pretty good in the AFC, but they're not that strong. They're not that solid, they're not that dominant. So he has
Who's not?
to get
Let me tell you, when the season
if he get
when,
those wide outs beside him and get Jerry Judy and them on the same page, man. Yeah, they'll make it to. I'm not gonna say they're gonna win a division, but they have a great chance to make it to the playoffs, and a slight chance to win a division this coming season.
like I said, I have to see Shedeur play a full season. I have to see him play 6 games. 6 games would tell me a lot. I just think I think he's great. I do. I don't think I shouldn't say great. I think he's good. He has to prove that he's great.
You said he was great. You said it
Yeah,
just
but I'm gonna take that back. I think he's good
he's
right
great.
now. I can't say great because what I've seen in college, yes, he was good, but he wasn't anything outstanding that I hadn't seen before, right? Like he didn't play against Georgia to tell he didn't play against those tough guys.
That you seen play better than Shedeur in college. Name five.
Well, I just know he didn't win. I don't think
Win, but look at what he did. He won the best quarterback of the year with
okay.
with subpar players. With
And
really
who did, and tell me some of the teams. Okay, so at Colorado, tell me five. Okay, now I'm gonna tell you. Tell me five strong teams that he played in college when he was there his 2 years.
because of the division that he
But,
was in.
but who did he? But who did he play?
Yeah, if you're gonna tell me you can't put Shedeur on the same team that Joe Burrow had and he couldn't win.
Well, he if he was on LSU, he'd have to win a championship because Joe Burrow won one.
Tell me he couldn't win
I don't know that he could. I think he'd have a good shot. I think he'd have a good shot. I think if he played,
with that man. You go
look, I think if he was at Texas this year, I think there's a very good chance he could have won because he's that athletic, right? I think he could have won. I think if he would have been the quarterback of Georgia that past year, I think they could have won. Yes. If he would have been at LSU in any of these strong teams, he could have won. But he made the choice. You told me the other day he could have gone to Georgia. He chose to go to Colorado with his dad, and I respect that. But the competition wasn't going to be good.
to Jackson State with his dad.
Okay, so what I'm saying is I don't bet the house. All
Yeah,
right, like
he chose to go to Colorado with his dad. He wanted his dad to coach him.
okay, and I understand that, but that's where this so by him making that choice, and I respect that. I respect that he wanted his dad to coach him, but like for a fan that loves college football and that loves Shador Sanders and that loves the NFL, I can't put the house on because I haven't seen him in college play against the elite teams, right? If I'd have seen it and he'd have won, man, my tune would be different. But I didn't see him play against the elite. Now, Joe Burrow had a lot of talent, that's true. But he played some of the best teams that also had talent, and he was the last guy standing, right? That's why I'm saying that. Yes, Joe Burrow had talent, but Joe Burrow played the best that college had to offer. He went to LSU, and there were tough teams. He barely beat Texas in Texas. I remember that game. I wanted to see Shador Sanders play in the SEC. I wanted to see him play against those teams because I think he's that good. And you're right. Had he been any one of those teams quarterback, he might have a championship. Now, I wanted to see, but I
I'm,
can't
I'm gonna go
bet
right.
the house.
I'm gonna go right here with you. You're talking about playing against talent. Okay.
Best programs.
Okay. Where did Carson Wentz come from?
I don't know offhand. I don't know.
He came from North Dakota State.
Okay.
When did he get drafted? He came from North Dakota State. He got drafted
Okay.
in the top 10 by the Philadelphia Eagles.
Okay.
And he didn't play against no top North Dakota State Division Two.
Okay.
So he didn't play against talent, but yet they still drafted him in the top 10.
They did.
I understand with Joe Burrow, but I know with Joe Burrow. And then you had pretty much the whole team that Joe Burrow transferred from to LSU went pretty to the NFL in the first round. Those
True.
skill players he had, even a running back
Yeah,
got,
tell
even a running back got drafted in the first round by Kansas City. So
true.
you had number first rounders on your team. So you can't do nothing but win.
Right.
You
But he
can't
won.
all those guys, you can't do nothing but win, man.
That's true. That's
You,
true. He had a lot of talent. He had a
you got
he,
to the NFL, you went to the Super Bowl, I think in your third or fourth year.
mhm.
You beat Kansas City at home, which was outstanding. And then you lost in the Super Bowl. Since then, you haven't done nothing.
True.
You haven't done nothing. You was healthy last year. I think you said out like 5, 6, 7 games last year. You was healthy, and the Cincinnati Bengals didn't do nothing. You
Right.
don't have 5, 6 games, so you still played about 11, 12 games, and you still didn't do nothing. Exactly what I said. He would
True.
make it back to the Super Bowl. Shedeur
True.
will make it to the Super Bowl before him. Bo
See, but
Nix
but
Bo
that's
Nix
wishful. See, but
to the
that's what
before
I'm.
him.
But that's what I'm trying to tell you. That's wishful thinking on your. There's no facts that prove that. There's nothing you can stand on them facts that say he
I
won't
think
make it
he,
there.
okay, he played. He missed 5 games last year, maybe 6, and they
Okay.
didn't do nothing. They didn't do nothing. Bo Nix made it. Justin Herbert made it to the playoffs. He didn't do nothing. Joe Burrow didn't do nothing. I understand you don't have a defense, but you ain't put up a whole bunch of points last year with T. Higgins
I think he did put up a lot of points when he played.
and with Jamar Chase.
I think he put up a lot of
Hey,
points.
that's
I,
what I'm talking about. I gotta think about what I'm doing. Come on, man. It's over with for you, dude. You you'll be relevant, but you will never make it to the AFC Championship or the Super Bowl again. It's
see.
over.
I don't see. I don't. I wouldn't go that far because he's still young. He's still young, and he can still play if he
He
stay.
young
If he,
as they got right now coming. Come on, man. No, another thing, you get hurt too much. Every time they hit you, you hurt.
well, he doesn't have a good line to block for him either. So
Uh,
he's take. What does he have a good line? I mean, am I lying? Does he have a good line? His line's not that good.
he just like Lamar Jackson. They ain't got a good line. They get hit, get hurt.
Oh, I think Lamar Jackson's line might be a little better. Joe Burrow doesn't have a really, he never has had a good line or a great defense, but you still got to be able to win. He took the money, he still got to be able to win. But I'm saying, and I can't say that like I'm not getting on and say Shedeur will never win because that's I don't know that, right? I'm not gonna come on this podcast. Shedeur will never win. I have never seen him play in the NFL. That would be dumb of me to come onto this podcast and say he'll never win. I don't know that. But what I'm saying, and going into this year, I need to see Shedeur play one full season. And if he doesn't win the division, right? I think he'll at least win more games. Then I'll be able to the next year because I'll have evaluation on him.
If they get the right weapons for the Cleveland quarterback, if we get the right weapons for Shedeur, man, they'll be in the playoffs.
And look, here's the other thing. It is tough to win games, even if you have talent in the NFL. You and I both know that. He can be as talented. There's other talented coaches. There's other talented players. So yeah, he could be athletic. There's a lot of athletic players in the NFL. It's tough to win week in and week out. You may have the best team on paper. That don't necessarily mean you win every Sunday, right? We've seen teams lose to we've seen really good teams lose to bad teams. That happens all the time. So all I'm saying is Shador still got a lot to learn in the NFL,
Only
right?
teams that lose the bad teams are the Dallas Cowboys. That's it.
All
That's
right.
on the Dallas
Hey,
Cowboys.
look, I like the wishful thinking. I'm glad that you're putting it out there. That's great. We keep it
So
100 here, but I don't think that's going to happen.
I told you Carolina was going to win a division, and you didn't believe me. So
Yeah,
get telling you again, if Cleveland Browns get the right weapons, they will win the division. Just like I told you, Carolina was going to win that
But
division.
and they might not, right?
Like,
They don't have a lot of money to spend this year to
they,
go get those players.
it
They
don't-
don't.
they got two first round draft picks and
Okay,
seconds.
okay.
Yeah,
I
so
mean,
first round draft picks. They
okay.
got
Well, look what Joe Burrow has. We have teams like that that don't win.
they got
So so
four. There's a
so
first
you
battle between the 12th and the 24th.
okay? So you're saying because if they pick right, that's all they need to win. You got to play the game. There's
Yeah,
other teams that are talented. Look,
they can
look.
get those wide receivers. I love my guy from Washington. I love the guy from USC. I love the young man from Ohio State. I love the young receiver from Ole Miss. I love the young receiver from Texas A&M. If we get any of those guys, man, in Cleveland with Shedeur, man, it is on and popping.
Look, I'll say this. I'm glad you love Shedeur, but I think you and I both know it that there takes more. Shedeur is not going to come into the NFL and wipe everybody out in year one. That doesn't happen.
Year two, he played last year, so this year too.
Year two, okay, we'll go year two. It's going to be tough for him. He's
But
got to learn a lot in the NFL
if
because if he was that good, like you say, he's going to come right in. He should have been able to win the Big 12, which is not even one of the toughest conferences, and he should have been able to do that.
12, they had Deion Sanders had Division III players on the line, man. Come on, man.
Okay.
They didn't have no D1, a whole bunch of D1 players on that squad. They had no
Okay.
D1 players. They had
Okay. So
three. Come on, man.
okay. But okay, that's true. Who decided to go to Colorado? You and I talked about that. No one's going to go to Colorado. These athletes that are big time from high school, they ain't going to Colorado. Dion knew that.
They improved every year he was there, and and
Not last year. Last year he got his ass kicked.
about Shedeur days. And then that same year, they improved. They went to the bowl game. They lost. I understand that because, but when they lost that bowl game, Travis Hunter got the Heisman Trophy, and Shedeur Sanders got the best quarterback in college award.
Okay. And they got their ass kicked at the bowl game. They didn't lose, right? They lost pretty bad. And now you look at Dion, and I like Dion. Dion, he had to fire he had to fire most of his coaches or they left because they were bad last year. They were horrible last year at Colorado. Because you people are the good
But you understand, like we said, Colorado. But you know what this year's happening? Yeah, I don't know if you've been watching. It's a whole bunch of big program transfers coming to Colorado. This,
okay.
I'm talking about starters from D1 big programs.
Okay. I mean, look, I wish him success, but he's got to win in the Big 12 for me to consider as a fan. If you want to be prime time, you got to go win the Big 12, man. Now, he wins the Big 12. We can't come out here and talk no more, but I mean, he's not winning. I mean, that's the reality. He's not winning. And
Well,
I don't,
college. We talking about. Let's get back on pro. Into the pro sports. We went to college. We on pros.
okay. The same thing. Like I said, my point is, and we'll move on. I think Shador's good. But he hasn't shown me a guy that watches NFL every Sunday. I haven't seen him, but play a couple of games.
Gabe,
And
uh, if they come in early and win 12 games, me and you, we're gonna get a winter coats, a winter pants, and we're gonna catch a flight to Cleveland.
so
And
what? Okay, so what if they don't? If he doesn't, what are you gonna say? If he starts and if he starts and he ends up behind Baltimore and Cincinnati, what are you gonna say?
if he ends up behind Baltimore and Cincinnati, I will say, Gabe, you was right.
Okay,
If they don't, you
I'll
gotta
say.
change.
I'll say you're right. Yeah, I think he'll get there. I just don't think it'll be in year two. I don't. I could be wrong, but I don't see that. I wouldn't bet the house until I see more from Shador. But that's where we stand.
Man, I'm betting my moped.
Okay, James is betting the whole house on him. I don't know,
I
but
bet in the house. I said I'm betting my moped.
Okay, the moped. All right, but I do think, for the record, I do think Shedeur, and I've been on record as saying I think he is I think he can be an NFL quarterback. That's not questionable, and I think every year he's going to get better. I just think that it's premature to say that next year because he's got a first year head coach. He's got some team. They got to get chemistry. I don't think it'll happen in year two, but year three and four, that'll be a different